What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have liked and sub, and let's get into this. Well, we're back, sorta, at least with the Warhammer Games Woke Shop, as I found out many of you call them. I don't think they've retconned it necessarily, but they have added, at least, I guess maybe adding, they're both bad, depending on who you ask, but adding is better than retconning. So here we go. New Stormcast Eternal's character for Warhammer Age of Sigmar uses they, their, them pronouns. Games Workshop introducing Stormcast Eternals for its Warhammer Age of Sigmar miniatures, at least, that of course added pronouns. And we'll talk about the difference between this and the Custodes thing, but I mean, looks cool. We'll see more pictures of it later on. You tell me whether this is a nothing burger or not. As initially reported, of course, by Fandom Pulse in a preview that we just got the end of September, or whatever, at the end of August, Games Workshop introduced a new character named Iridan the Witness, who uses the pronouns describing the character. Iridan the Witness strikes a morbid figure from atop their Morgriff Ariax, wielding the axe of the final threshold. It continues, before reforging, Iridan was an Azerite scholar whose memory became edict when they were transformed into Stormcast Eternal. Their ability to recall countless, which would be sick, countless years of military strategy provided a vital asset to Sigmar, but they were forever tormented by intense recollections of horrendous battle. Get a better look at the thing. And a lot of you, when we talk about how expensive these miniatures are, talk about 3D printer Go Burr. This is a whole market now of people 3D printing and painting their own, or just obviously painting your own has always been a thing, but 3D printing it and then selling it rather than having to go through the workshop themselves. Continues with their biography. After a pilgrimage to the Shrine of Morda, Iridan was granted knowledge they have since only shared with Sigmar and Ionis Cryptborn. Games Workshop added, with this insight, they became the first to grant a comrade suffering from the curse of reforging a true death. Iridan is now deployed to any battle where Stormcast Eternals are in danger of losing themselves completely, never once forgetting the face of one they have put to rest, the company concluded. And I guess we are going to, if you wanted to say that, well, like all of the Stormcast Eternals are they, them. They don't have genders. They're going to point out here that, in contrast, Games Workshop has previously revealed Tornus the Redeemed, another member of the Stormcast Eternals, and clearly identified him as a male in a blog post back in June. You can see that basically just says that the kit can also be used to represent Tornus the Redeemed, a legendary knight, Azeros, with a long history that began in the early days of the Age of Sigmar. Originally a proud and indomitable warrior from Giran, he was captured by the servants of the Plague God, who committed him to the pit of filth. They trapped him in this disease-ridden obulette for 77 days and only released him after he agreed to accept Nurgle into his heart. Oh, Nurgle. You get the idea, though. So there were other characters that use male pronouns. Whatever. It's just it's one other thing of these they, them, zer, they. Come on, go full out if you're going to start doing it. Yeah. Really, you let me know. This all goes back to the real one that I think is an issue, and that was, of course, the Adeptus Custodes and making them female, even though the lore said all that. And that basically was why I point out. Notice these are getting miniatures. Those female Custodes never got miniatures because it was never about that. It was about adding something to the lore so that Henry Cavill, when he was trying, or depending on who you ask, if he's still trying to do it, although they're running out on the date to announce anything, basically the lore change was just so that Henry Cavill had to put in female Space Marines or the equivalent thereof. That Amazon really wanted female Space Marines, and the capitulation was to give them female Custodes and then not make miniatures, because who gave a shit about that? It was just to get the lore codex, so they see, Henry, it's in the lore now, you have to do it. And again, that's looking more and more like that's just not going to happen for a bevy of different reasons, beyond the fact that Henry just had a kid. They keep mucking about with the lore. Depending on who you believe, he's in serious talks to play the Calvarine in MCU proper, or at least in Secret Wars. Yeah. Anyway, let me know what you think. Do you give a shit that they're adding a Stormcast Eternal with pronouns, or do you think it's just more negligible? Or yeah, you do care because you're tired of this modern influence on all your stuff. There's no reason for it. Anyway, let me know what you think. Sure, like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you.
Well, bye.